It happened on a quiet summer morning. The kind where the lake mirrors the sky, calm, peaceful. And then, the one person I trusted most, my own son, pushed me into the water. I struggled, gasping, as his words cut deeper than the cold. "You're weak now, Dad. You're not the man I grew up with." My name's Hal Whitman, I'm 67, retired mechanic, living in a small lakeside town in Wisconsin. The mornings are always the same now, coffee brewing, worn boots tapping across the wooden porch, the scent of pine and water drifting in. I watch the lake shimmer, remembering decades of hard work, long nights at the garage, winters freezing in drafty shops, summers spent keeping the town running. I raised my son alone after his mother passed. I did everything a father could, sacrificed comfort, health, and sometimes sleep, just so Derek could have a future I never had. My life was simple, routine, quiet, until that betrayal shattered every peaceful habit I had left. Derek, my son, the boy I spent my life building, shaping, loving, at 38, he was impatient, entitled, dismissive of all I'd done. He treated me like a relic. "You're old, Dad," he said one evening, tossing papers on the kitchen table. "You wouldn't understand how business works now. You're just in the way." I remember gripping the table, trying to hold my voice steady. All those years of work, the late nights, the health sacrifices, the constant worry, dismissed in one casual phrase. My hands shook, but not from fear, rage and heartbreak mixed together. It wasn't just disrespect. I began to notice the signs: money missing from accounts, deeds transferred without my knowledge, subtle lies masked as helpful advice, and then I saw it in his eyes, a cold greed I had never known existed. By the end of that week, I knew the reckoning had to come, not just for my money or my home, but for my dignity, for every year of being a loyal, hard-working father and man of integrity. The moment came faster than I expected. We were at the lake, my sanctuary, the place where I thought I could always find peace. Derek was supposed to help me fix the old dock, but he didn't. Instead, he shoved me. I felt the world tilt. The cold water slammed against me, lungs screaming, water filling my nose and mouth. I flailed, every instinct fighting for air, but his words rang in my ears. "You're weak now, Dad. You're not the man I grew up with." The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was the culmination of decades of sacrifice, of trust shattered in an instant. I clawed at the surface, coughing, gasping, but beneath the shock, a strange clarity emerged. This wasn't the end, it was the moment I would reclaim everything. I spent weeks planning, quietly, patiently. I didn't yell, I didn't retaliate impulsively. I had decades of experience, patience, and observation, tools more powerful than brute force. I examined Derek's finances, traced his lies, and gathered proof of every deceit. I reached out quietly to old colleagues, former clients, and neighbors who had witnessed his schemes. Each day, my plan took shape, methodical, deliberate, patient. I learned to use his arrogance against him. He was certain I was weak, certain I had no power left. He underestimated the quiet strength of someone who had survived decades of hardship. Each small move I made nudged him closer to exposure, and I stayed calm, composed, watching, waiting. Soon, the cracks began to show. Derek started receiving calls he couldn't ignore, emails exposed inconsistencies, friends whispered in town, panic crept into his confident facade. Meanwhile, I remained serene. Every morning, I sipped my coffee on the porch, watching the lake ripple with the wind, feeling stronger than ever. The same town that had watched me age, struggle, and sacrifice now saw a man reclaiming the dignity that was nearly stolen from him. His arrogance crumbled, one misstep at a time, and I didn't have to shout, fight, or threaten. My calm patience did the work for me. The Lakeside Festival was the stage. Derek, self-assured, flaunting his wealth and supposed control, didn't see me standing in the crowd, evidence in hand, ready to expose him. When I laid it all out, the stolen money, the forged documents, the lies he told to neighbors and friends, the town went silent. Derek's face turned pale, his arrogance stripped away publicly. The community, People I had spent decades serving and protecting, erupted in cheers for the man they'd always known, Hal Whitman, my dignity restored, my betrayal avenged, not with cruelty, but with the truth. Derek's downfall was swift, isolated, humiliated. He vanished from the life we once shared. The lake was peaceful again, the town calm, and I felt a deep, quiet satisfaction. Sitting on my porch, watching the sunset reflect off the water, I reflected on a lifetime of lessons. Integrity matters, hard work matters, patience matters, and dignity, once lost, can always be reclaimed. Life may betray you, but dignity is yours to reclaim. Even late in life, even after betrayal, you can rise. If this story touched you, share your thoughts in the comments, tell me your story of resilience, and subscribe for more tales of heartache, courage, and the power of standing tall, no matter your age.